I was so happy for Nelly. I think Nelly kind of gets overlooked because he never won a championship. And that's the thing, right? If you don't win a championship, you're scum. You're nothing. Win a title or blow me. I just whatever. I don't go away. You gotta win a championship. You gotta win a championship. Or as everybody likes to say, you gotta win a chip. Because championship's so hard to say. But back to Nelly. So, and I think I started that with Nelly playing for the Celtics, winning championships at the Forum, balloons, and then off I went. But Nelly, from experience, Nelly is a hell of a coach. The one thing I noticed about Nelly more so than anything is coaches adjusted to him. He didn't adjust to other coaches. Like they always made the adjustment to him. And I always thought he was a brilliant tactician when it came to offensive basketball. Defensive, not so much. He wasn't, he was an offensive guy. He liked tinkering with the offense. He loved going small. I played center a lot, power forward mostly, but I played a lot of center. And so, it was me and in no particular order, Chris, Timmy, Mitch, because I'd put myself way last when it came to those guys. Rod Higgins, Terry Teagle, my guy Pete, Alton Lister, Winnie Garland was there. So, I mean, it was a fun team to play for. Like that, I was so happy to get to play for that type of team that ran and moved the ball. Like a lot of the stuff you see today, we did 30 years ago back with the Warriors. But he had some really good, it was interesting because he had some really good defensive teams back in Milwaukee. Those teams were really, really good. Bridgman and Pressey and Marcus Johnson and Sidney Moncrief. Like those are some good teams, really good. They just weren't as good as the Celtics. They just weren't good. The East was a monster back then, a monster. The Bucks were really good. The Celtics were really good. The Sixers were incredible. And that was an incredible team. The team that won the championship, Moses Malone, Dr. J, Andrew Toney, Mo Cheeks, Jones. Not sure if McGinnis was on that team or not, but I mean, they had some incredible teams back in the day. So the East was like, they had some big time teams. But, Nelly just couldn't get over the hump of the Celtics. And then the Warriors were okay. We were a good team, not a great team, like, a little over 500, right around there. 3 Hall of Famers. We just, we didn't have any size. You got crushing the boards continually. But I don't think that takes away from what Nelly is. And then, when he was with the Mavericks, they had some chances there. I don't know. The one thing I'll say about Nelly is I don't think Nelly ever lost with the best team. I don't think Nelly ever had the best team and lost. Like, oh my gosh, you should have won this year, right? I don't think that happened. I'd have to go back and look, but the Warriors, we never had the best team. He had some good teams after I left, when it was Sprewell and Weber. I think Billy Owens was there. I think Timmy and Chris were still there for a bit, but they had some really good teams, but they weren't the best team. Maybe like the 4th best team in the West, 3rd or 4th best team. But they're never the best team. And then he goes to the Mavericks. They were never the best team when he had them. So, I still think you accumulate that many wins. And I didn't mention the Knicks because that was a disaster. That was just a disaster. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. I know what he was thinking. Let me correct myself. I know what he was thinking. Cash, baby. He got that cash from New York and thought, we're going to make this work. Man, when you go up to Patrick Ewing and say, I need you a little more on the perimeter, and we're going to, it's like, it's Patrick Ewing. Come on. I mean, that team was just, that was not a team that I think if it were anywhere else, and he didn't get paid the type of money he got paid to go to New York, he wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have gone. That was not a good fit for him. Warriors, great fit for him. The Mavericks, great fit for him. I mean, he was the guy that traded for Dirk Nowitzki. I think it was Robert Tractor Trailer went before him, and he traded the pick to go and get Dirk, who was like, 17, 18 at the time, and then turned into, well, shut it down, let's go home. you know what Dirk turned into. And then I think he saw the vision of Steve Nash, what Steve Nash could become. Who else was on that team? I think Michael Finley was on that team. Is a really good player too. But that was a really good team. It just wasn't like it wasn't the best team. And then he comes back here to the Warriors, and I think maybe his best coaching was that We Believe team. Those Renegades when they beat the Mavericks in the first round, 1-8, and Avery Johnson did something I don't know if I've ever seen before. The first round against an 8 seed, you change your starting lineup. It's like, oh, would they win that game? Would they win that year? 67, if I'm not mistaken, 67 games, and then you change your lineup because you're going against the Warriors and they're smaller, and you want like Avery. You won 67 games. You make them adjust. And that's what I say. Like Nelly made teams adjust to what he did. And that was as loud as I've ever heard an arena. I was at a few of those games, and it wasn't working those games. This was before I started working for the Warriors. But went to the games. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was concert loud, like Metallica concert loud. It was so loud in there. Like that. Chase will never duplicate that. I don't know if Oracle would have ever duplicated that after the fact. I don't think they would have, because remember, that was after years and years and years of hardly even having a all-star, let alone get to the playoffs and win. And that was a fun team to watch. That was a fun team to watch. Jason Richardson, Barron, who could forget the dunk on Karolinko? That was that. I mean, that you want to talk about loud. That was loud. It's Stack Jack, Harrington. Like, I mean, it was just that was a fun team to watch. It would have been nice to see that team stay together for a couple years. I don't know exactly if they could have like done anything, but like that was a Nelly team. That was a Nelly team, right? I think Steph might have been his rookie year. Or maybe his second year, but he was so young. But it was Monte might even still been on that team. It was. So that's an LA team. Give me the island of misfit toys. Give me the island of misfit toys, and I will find a way to Dr. Frankenstein this thing. And we're going to be a fun team to watch and a good team to watch. Were they going to be championship worthy? Maybe not. Maybe not. But, again, you can't say the Warriors, We Believe Warriors were the best team. They weren't. They were the 8 seed, snuck in, got in there, and then beat the Mavericks, which was funny because the Mavericks lost, sat a lot of their guys at the end of the year, and the Warriors ended up winning, making it. And I don't know if they thought they had a better chance to beat the Warriors, and then the Warriors beat them. Oops. Oopsie. So it was really cool to see Nelly get the Lifetime Achievement Award, because I think he's done a lot in the game of basketball. I think there's a lot of coaches that implement a lot of the stuff that he did back in the day. I mean, you watch the Pacers run, and that's what we did. Throw it ahead. Get the ball, try to throw it ahead if you can. Timmy sometimes would get it and go, and that's fine. But we would also, get a rebound. If you could handle, go. And if somebody's open ahead of you, throw it ahead of you. Get into your offense early. You watch the Pacers, they get into their offense really, really early. And we didn't even run sets until we got through running and then running our early offense. And then we'd get into a set, get into a horn set or a thumb set or whatever it is we're running. But look, having played for Nelly, I always knew he knew what the hell he was doing. And when he said something, you trusted him. Like, okay, if he says this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Another thing Nelly would do was he would ask players, like, how do you want to play this? How do you want to play this pick and roll? Do you want to blitz it? Do you want to hedge it? Do you want to go under? You don't see as many going under screens anymore, but back in the day, not many people shot threes, so you could go under screens. And we had different ways of playing different personnel. So, and he'd ask you, how do you want to play this screen roll? He even asked me one time, we were playing, I've told this story before, we were playing the Spurs, And he asked, "Did anybody have any ideas on how to play David Robinson?" And I raised my hand, and he goes, "What do you got?" And I go, "Well, I mean, obviously you got to be physical with him. You got to bump him off the block and move him out and then try to get him out to 14, 15. Then you got, at least a little bit of a chance. And then crowd him once he gets the ball. Because, he could hit that 15-foot jump shot. And if he got one dribble, he could get by it because he's so long. I mean, David Robinson was long and super athletic. People forget how good that guy was. David Robinson was incredible. He just wasn't, he gets kind of lost in the shuffle of playing with Duncan. And then you had Akeem and you had Ewing and you had Shaq and all those guys. And David Robinson gets lost a little bit, but he shouldn't. Incredible player. So I said, get physical, get into him, get into his body and make him uncomfortable. And Nelly looked at me and goes, "All right, you go ahead. You start on him then. You start on Robinson." I'm like, "All right, cool." First 6 minutes, he had 14 points. I mean, I didn't say it would work. I just said, in theory, this is how I think you could have the best success against David Robinson. I didn't even say I was the best guy to implement, like I was the best tool for the task. I just said this is what I think would work. So, you hear the infamous 6-minute mark. And I'm walking up the court after David Robinson's lit me up for 14 points. And Nelly looks at me and he goes, "It's the last fucking time I'll ask you." And I just looked at him and I said, "I didn't say it would work." He kind of laughed a little bit and I just kept walking by. But he did give you that freedom to, say, "Hey, this is how I'd like to play this guy." Now, he wouldn't always take your advice. Like if he felt convicted about something, like this is the way to do it, then that's what you would do. You trusted him. But as a player, I always felt like if you let the players not come up with their own game plans, but be a part of them, they're more invested in it. Like you don't want to go out there. Like I didn't want to say that and then go out there and get lit up, right? Like, okay, you start. Like I was invested in that. I was trying to be physical. I was trying to get up in him and take away airspace. I was trying to do those things. It just so happened the talent end of the scale, I was down here, he was up here. So my theory may have been good, but it wasn't enough to bridge the talent gap, which was like, pretty wide. I mean, we could be talking Japan, California, Pacific Ocean type wide. Like David Robinson was incredible, an absolute stud. So again, maybe a different tool, maybe it works. Maybe that sort of defense works. It did not work with me, and it could have worked on a different night too. It's just that night he got rolling, and I couldn't stop him, and he was great. But I love playing for Nelly. Not the easiest guy to play for. Like he could be brutally honest sometimes, and you didn't want to hear it, but you were glad that you heard it. He tried to give me my contract back. Awfully nice of him. He did after my second year, and it was my fault. I didn't work out as hard as I should have in the summer. Came in out of shape a little bit, and he was not happy with me. And I spent the rest of camp and the early part of the season trying to get in shape and get back and get going. Maybe that was the third season. And he was not happy. So he sat me down after practice one day and he said, "Look, Tom, I'm going to do," getting hot in here. He goes, "I'm going to do you a favor." And I go, "What's that?" He goes, "I'm going to release you from your contract. And that way you can be a free agent. Like, hey, this is good for you. You should take advantage of this. I'm going to release you from your contract. You can go be a free agent. And, obviously we won't owe you any more money after that. And we can just do, what we're going to do. And you can do what you're going to do. And I think it'd be good for you." Thanks, Nelly. Appreciate the offer. I'm going to have to pass on that. I'm going to have to pass since they got 3 more years of guaranteed money. And I'm not going to give it back to you. Sorry, not going to happen. So that was pretty much the end of oh, this guy's going back to college with these fucking stories. I'll tell you that in a minute. Uh, so I told him no, and then life just went on, and that was pretty much the end of it. And we have a really good relationship now. But as a coach, you're trying to win, and if somebody isn't helping you win, then you're not really thrilled with him. And look, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I gave him every reason to be upset with me because I didn't do everything I could have during the offseason to get myself ready for the season. So he brought Jim Peterson up to his office one time because Jim wasn't playing that well. He actually sat Jim on a bench and said, "Is that all you got? I thought you had more than that when I traded for you." Now imagine that as a player. Your head coach asked you, "Is that all you got?" What? What? I mean, how about you show a little more confidence in me and play me a little bit more and put me in different positions? But like again, he wanted smaller guys on the court that could do certain things, and that just wasn't. Jim wasn't super comfortable in those. So anyway, Jim's like, well, he goes, well, maybe we could work out a trade for you and find you a team that you'd want to go to. Because I think at some point Jim was a little disillusioned. Like, hey, I think he loved the players. Jim and I hung out all the time. We were best friends. And then he just loved the team. The team was a lot of fun. It really was. So he told Jim, he goes, okay, well, we could try to work out a trade. Why don't you come up to my office with me? So Jim goes up to Nelly's office with him because remember, Nelly was the coach and the GM at the time. So Jim comes up to Nelly's office with him, and Nelly sits down. Jim sits across from him, and Nelly's behind the desk and the phone and the pen and the paper and whatever else he has there. Probably a beer, knowing Nelly. So he calls Bernie Bickerstaff. I think Bernie Bickerstaff was worked for the Nuggets at the time. And he's talking to him, and you hear him say, I know you didn't hear him say, Jim's sitting right across from him. Of course he heard him. And he said, hey, Bernie, how you doing? Nelly, what's going on? Doing good? Yeah. He goes, hey, I got Jim Peterson here. You got any interest in trading for Jim Peterson? No? No? For nothing? Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Click. And then I forget who called up next, but Jim told me he called two GMs. Called another guy up. Hey, I got Jim Peterson here. You got any interest in maybe trading for Jim Peterson? No? Okay. Hangs up. Looks at Pete and says, nobody fucking wants you. Now, how's that? How's that? Like, how are you expecting to get the most out of that player moving forward? You just sat him in your office across from you. I mean, just embarrassed him basically. Nah, nobody wants you. Like, I tried. I don't know what you want me to do. Nobody wants you. So he could be a dick. There's no doubt about it. I mean, a real, as Nelly would call it, a real prick. But I still love playing for him. I mean, he was that way with me sometimes too, but I love the freedom he gave you. I love the fact during practices we scrimmaged a lot. I went from scrimmaging every single day in practice to going to Orlando, where it was a controlled scrimmage every single practice. So controlled scrimmage is you played a 10, right? You got two teams, you played a 10. And then coach stops it occasionally if things aren't going the way he wanted it to go. So Nelly would stop it occasionally, go, hey, we want to do this, swing it. We want to pin down here. We want to do this. Okay, cool. We go to Orlando with Matty Gukas, and the controlled scrimmage is, okay, we're going to run thumbs down here or horns or whatever it is. So let's run horns. So I'd run horns, team on defense, get a rebound or take it out of bounds, and then run the other way. And then stop. So it's half court, rebound, go, stop. Let's call another play. And then you do it over again. It's like, what are we doing? Like, can we just scrimmage? Can we just play? And that was the thing I loved about Nelly is we just played. We just played. And it wasn't stop. It wasn't, hey, let's discuss this. Let's talk about this. Like we knew what we were doing. We had a bunch of smart guys on the team. So it was fun. Nelly made it fun. Again, he could be a dick sometimes, no doubt about it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was always great. It wasn't always great. But I think I think he's one of the best coaches ever played for him and Lute Olson. So, and I absolutely think he deserves the Lifetime Achievement Award. So good for him. Might be the last time he ever steps foot off Maui. I read that he hadn't left Maui in 7 years. I doubt he'll leave it again. I was a little disappointed the short hair. Look how he cleaned up a little bit. The Waylon Jennings look is gone, which kind of sucks. Anywho,